I'm Kristy Ella. Sometimes the best lessons come from ordinary moments. As Masha Ann makes her way toward a long-awaited reunion, old memories and quiet truths begin to rise to the surface. Let's listen to Masha Ann as she shares her story.
I hung up the phone and my heart was racing. Susan wants to see me today. The morning air is sharp and biting, a hard -15. But there's a warmth blooming in my chest that makes everything else fade. I quickly packed my bag, and as I lock the front door, I hear the click behind me. My boots crunch on the frosted pavement. My breath rises in soft clouds in front of me. Each step feels like a marker on the road back to Susan. The bus ride stretches out ahead, 2 hours through a stark winter landscape. Every town we pass, every snow-dusted field rolling by the window, feels like a milestone on a pilgrimage toward her. This isn't just a trip from Oakville to Collingwood, it's a bridge across time, a closing of the 2-year gap that's been sitting between us. I wonder how Susan has changed. Will her laugh still sound the same? Does she still tuck her hair behind her ears when she's thinking? The anticipation hums through me, and I catch myself smiling for no reason at all. In my mind, I can already see the coffee shop, warm, inviting, the smell of fresh coffee wrapping around us, the sound of our laughter finding its rhythm again. As the bus moves forward, my thoughts drift through the years. I see Susan as a little girl, her small hand tucked safely in mine. Scraped knees, bedtime stories, the proud, shining smile on her face at graduation. The memories don't make me sad. They feel steady, loving. They're the ground beneath my feet as I make my way back to her. This meeting feels like a chance to know her again, to see the woman she's become, to witness the life she's building for herself. She mentioned good news on the phone. I turn it over gently in my mind. A promotion maybe, someone special. Maybe she's even thinking about moving closer to home. I don't let myself land on any one possibility for too long. I don't want to build expectations. The real gift is this moment, the invitation back into her world. Whatever she wants to tell me will come when it comes. Today's excitement is about who's waiting for me there. Susan had left Oakville to start her own life when she was 22. Her visits home became less frequent, and it had been over 2 years since I had seen her. We had had some bumpy roads. I had missed her so much, but I believed she hadn't visited because she was busy creating the life she wanted. "Mom, I am too busy to come this month," she would always respond when I asked her to visit. Of course I missed her, but I was happy to watch her take control of her world, follow her plans, and grow into the life she dreamed of. That's part of being a parent, letting go, even when it aches a little. That morning it was a cold -15, the kind of cold that doesn't just chill you, it settles in. When I stepped off the bus, the cold ripped through me and I quickly scurried to the restaurant, just a few blocks away. I arrived 15 minutes early, hopeful and excited. Through the cafe window, I could see Susan sitting with her friends, lunch plates still on the table, glasses half full. They were laughing easily, comfortably, like people who see each other often. She looked happy. She was truly beautiful. I stood watching for a few moments and then Susan looked up and saw me. I saw a quick look of frustration pass her face, but she quickly came to the door and whispered, "Mom," glancing at her phone, "you're a bit early." "I know," I said quickly. "The bus got me here faster than I expected. I was just excited to see you. You said you had news." She nodded. "I do, it's just, my friends arrived late," she explained. "We were supposed to have lunch first." A cold blast of wind cut sharply between us. "There's a little coffee place next door," she said, pointing down the street. "Why don't you grab a coffee and warm up? I'll text you when we're done." She said it kindly, reasonably, like this was the only obvious solution.
Stay tuned for Chapter 2. Chapter 2, The Other Cup of Coffee.
Oh, I said, okay. She gave me a quick hug, the kind you give when your mind is already somewhere else. I'll text you, she said again. And then she went back inside. The door closed. The warmth stayed in. I looked at my watch. It was 12:40. Another gust of wind chilled me to the bones. As I stood there on the sidewalk, watching my daughter turn back to her friends, already absorbed in conversation again. My hands shook, and not just from the cold. These were the hands that had raised her, that worked extra shifts, that traveled 2 hours by bus for a simple cup of coffee and a piece of good news. I started walking toward the coffee shop she'd pointed out. Tears were starting to brim my eyes, then I stopped. Something settled in me, not anger, not sadness, it was clarity. I realized Susan hadn't misunderstood. She just expected me to wait. After 2 hours on a bus in the frigid temperatures, for coffee I was invited to, so I didn't. I turned around and walked the other way, the cold biting harder with every step. I walked until the cafe disappeared from my blurry view. I was holding back the wet tears as memories were flooding me of Susan as she was a child. I could see her laughter and her tears, her curly brown hair blowing in the wind as she swung on the tire tree, her little legs dangling, pushing her. The tire still swung in the backyard, and every now and then the wind would make it creak, and I would picture her swinging there. She was so full of life, but life hadn't been easy. Her dad had left us when she was only 9 years old. She was a resilient child and always knew what she wanted. Stay tuned for Chapter 3. Chapter 3, Susan's Message. I found another cafe and ordered a cup of hot peppermint tea. An hour passed by without a message from Susan. I tried not to cry. I left the cafe and I checked into a small hotel nearby. I pulled out my phone again, hoping for a message from my daughter, but there was none. So turned my phone off. Completely. Not to punish anyone, just to rest and sort through my feelings. I ran a long bath with the complimentary bubble bath and a glass of wine from the fridge. I just let my mind wander. I told myself that maybe tomorrow we'd meet. Maybe things would feel different in the morning. I settled in for a good night of sleep. The next morning, when I turned my phone back on, there were 10 messages from Susan. With each one, her impatience grew. Not a single word asking if I was okay. All about her frustration, her drama, her inconvenience. Mom, where are you? I thought you said you'd be here. I can't believe you left. You're ruining my day. Are you even coming? Don't you want to hear my good news? And so on, each one sharper than the last. I sat with it for a long moment. I put my phone back down, then I packed my bag. On the first bus home, I finally texted Susan back. I'm on my way home now. If you'd like to see me, you're always welcome here. I didn't leave angry. I didn't leave hurt. I left clear.
I hope you enjoyed Martha's story. Let's reflect on her journey together. Let me ask you, what would you have done? Would you have waited for your daughter? Martha Ann made a very hard decision that day. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. I think Marcia Ann showed quiet strength. She didn't yell. She didn't dramatize. She simply recognized her worth and set a boundary with calm dignity. That's hard. That's powerful. And it's a lesson we all need sometimes, especially when love is wrapped in expectation. My hope for Martha Ann is that her daughter will make it a priority to take a trip back home. It would mean everything to her. Kristy Ella's stories.